everybody, my name is Deja and welcome back to my channel. So today, everything looks a little bit different than it normally has. You may still see some videos being posted that I filmed at my previous apartment, but I am now at my boyfriend's apartment. I'm technically not fully moved in, but I set up my shelves so I can start filming here, and I'm really excited. And I'm about to graduate college officially right after you guys see this. Hopefully this will go up before the end of the month, and I'm graduating at the very beginning of May. So I'm really excited about like this new chapter and being able to dedicate more time to my channel, because if y'all don't know, in college I was a very busy bee, and after now for at least the next little bit I should be a little bit less busy. I brought my gecko over here today and he literally is moving like crazy. He hates to drive, so he's like up and awake. He's technically nocturnal, but he's moving a lot. So if you guys see me looking over there, it's because of that. We're also using the lapel mic today, so let me know what you guys think of the audio, because our apartment, I don't know why, it's like not like a super big room. It has stuff in it, a big couch, stuff like that, and it's kind of echoey, and then there's also an AC unit that's kind of noisy. So I wanted to try the lapel microphone for sit-down videos, so let me know what you guys think. I'm really excited for the month of May because I'm going to be participating in a readathon, and that is Escape the Readathon, hosted by Lexi over at Books with Lex. And I'm actually a game master. This is the second year in a row that I'm a game master, so I'm technically like not leading a team or anything like that, and I can really read whatever I want. What I read and my points will basically hurt teams and prevent them from escaping, because Escape the Readathon is kind of like a readathon that is an escape room. So there are 4 different teams and they are all trying to escape different scenarios. Last year it was a carnival. This year it is a cruise, which I think is so fun, and I'm just really excited because I really haven't had time to like immerse myself in the book community so far this year. I've been reading and stuff like that, but I haven't been able to really do readathons or even as many reading vlogs as I want to do because I've been so busy. I did not anticipate the last semester of college being as busy as it is. I thought my fall semester was busy, just being a senior, but no, spring semester really honestly whooped my ass because there's so much going on related to graduation and, you know, just getting everything in order and moving and all that stuff. It was just kind of insane. So I'm glad everything's calming down and I can participate in this readathon. I'm so excited. And there's also a readathon that I host every summer. If you guys know, you know. And so I'm really excited to be able to host that again this year and really, again, be immersed in it, because I'll be doing way less than I have been previously. For this readathon, even though I could technically read whatever I want, I will be trying to fulfill the prompts. So there's technically 6 prompts for the readathon, and they all correspond to a room, and you're trying to escape the room and then get through the rooms to make it off the cruise ship. So there are 6 rooms that have prompts and then 2 other rooms that are just like pages. And so I will try to fulfill the 6 prompts for the other teams. But then I also have a lot of book clubs that I want to participate in this month. So we are going to start there first. So if you guys don't know, I run a book club over on Patreon. I would love to have you guys over there, and I'm so excited because I'm hoping to really revamp my Patreon this summer and hopefully doing more over there. So if you guys would like to join, we would love to have you over there. But we do read a book club pick every month. We have a live show, we have a Discord channel, and I also do an exclusive reading vlog over there for the book. And for the month of May, we are going to be reading Bat Eaters and Other Names for Kyrah Zhang. And this book actually was an Aardvark book pick in the month of April, so I'm hoping I can get it in May, because I really wanted to get their other horror pick last month, but then I actually got that in my Nightworms box as well. So I really could have gotten Bat Eaters, but I just did not connect the two together. So yeah, I will be trying to get this one in May, but I'm really excited about this one because I know this one has a lot to do with trauma and grief, and we are following a crime scene cleaner who begins to investigate these deaths of Asian women happening in Chinatown. I believe it might take place in San Francisco, I want to say. Don't quote me on that. Maybe New York City, I don't know. But in their Chinatown, there are Asian women getting killed and nobody's really paying attention to it. And so she tries to investigate it. Her own sister was actually a victim of a hate crime, and I think that's the first scene of the book. So be careful going to this book if that's something that's going to be something that's going to trigger you or not be good for your mental health. I would definitely look out for this one, but I'm really excited for this one. I think it's going to be amazing, and just the fact that we're following a crime scene cleaner makes me very intrigued. And also for my book club, we are doing a read-along currently. We reread, or read for the first time, I reread personally, the original Hunger Games trilogy last year, and we had like 1 book a month, and then at the end of the books, we had a live show. And now this year, we are going to read the other 2 books. So in April, we read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which I read for the first time, and now in May, we're reading Sunrise on the Reaping, which we know just came out. I'm really excited for this one because this one I feel like is going to lean more into like actually being in the Hunger Games, because the first book follows President Snow when he was younger, and so the Hunger Games looked a very different one, and then also he wasn't actually in the games himself, and this one follows Haymitch and Haymitch's story, and Haymitch was a person in the Hunger Games. So I'm hoping that we get back into the arena, and I feel like that's going to really eat down. I'm really, really excited. Probably towards the end of May, we will have a live show to discuss both those books. Then I have 2 other book clubs that I'm going to be trying to participate in May. The first one is actually my in-person book club. I started an in-person book club. This is going to be our first meeting ever, our first month of doing it. It's literally just a book club of girls that I gathered together on the internet. I've never really met any of them except for one, so hopefully I don't get kidnapped. We're meeting at a public place, so it should be fine. But how we are doing it is just basically I put all of our names into a randomized list. It gave me a random order, and then we're going to go down that order, and each person gets to pick a book. That way we're pushing some people out of their comfort zones, and everybody gets to read at least like 1 or 2 books a year that they specifically chose. So for our first month, we are going to be reading Dungeon Crawler Carl, I think is the title. I've heard so many people talk about this book. It's a fantasy book. A lot of people have been really eating it up lately. I know Gavin from Gavin Reads It All has really loved this book in this series and has really been promoting a lot of other people to read it. As you guys know, I'm not a big fantasy reader, especially going into like the spring, summertime, but I'm really excited for this one regardless. And it's not too long, so I'm hoping that I enjoy it. I really don't know much about it, but I heard that it's kind of more like fun, so I'm hoping that I really enjoy this one. And then lastly, for book clubs, I'm also in Kyrah Stewart's book club, which is Yes We Read. It is mostly on Discord, but then there's also Zoom calls for the book clubs. I never ever make it to the Zoom calls because I always have something going on, so I never really read the book. We find out at the beginning of the month when the book club call is going to be, and I never am available, so I just never read the book. But this month I should be free. I didn't check the date, but I don't really have much going on my calendar, so I think I'll be free for this month. And we are supposed to be reading Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. I read my first Kristen Hanna earlier this year, which is The Women, and it is definitely my favorite book of the year so far. So I'm really, really excited to try out another one for books. I don't really know much about this one, but it seems to be a little bit more like summery, which I'm excited for because I know she kind of has some more like wintry leaning books, like ones that take place in Alaska, but then she also just has some ones that are more like summery. So I'm hoping that this one definitely gives summer vibes. And it says Firefly in the title, and fireflies are like a spring summer insect, you know? So I'm hoping that this one is one that I really enjoy and love. I never thought I'd be a historical fiction girly, but I am. Honestly, my 2 favorite books so far this year are ones that I really did not expect. And I do have one buddy read that I'm starting in the month of May. It's probably going to start like a week or 2 after because it is actually with my mom, and so she obviously knows that I'm graduating. She wants me to get settled, and then she's actually retiring on the 30th of April. So you can wish my mom happy retirement in the comments below because she's worked very, very hard and she does watch my videos. But we are starting this buddy read, and it's definitely going to take us into June. I'm guessing hopefully we'll finish it by the end of June, but that is The Count of Monte Cristo. I don't know what possessed me one day, but just something in my mind was like, The Count of Monte Cristo, The Count of Monte Cristo, The Count of Monte Cristo. Like, I don't really read classic books, but it just like popped into my spirit, and I was like, okay, like let me like research it because I knew that she was thick. I knew that she was big. So I researched it and I became very, very intrigued because this one I feel like is going to really be like getting their lick back. Okay, this is a revenge story and I'm excited. I'm hoping that it's very petty and I like that. I think we're following a man who was thrown in prison for crimes that he did not commit by these other people. They basically like framed him, I think. And so now he's out of prison. I think he actually escaped. I don't think he was released. And now he is coming after the people who put him in prison or like framed him and their families and like getting his lick back, as I said. I'm excited for this one. And what I didn't know about the Count of Monte Cristo until I researched it, this book was actually originally serialized. So it was like put out in the newspaper every single week or every other week. I don't know how often or frequent it was, but every so often they would put out a little section of this book and then they bound it up into one book. And I got the Penguin Classics edition because I like this translation of the best. It is translated by Robin Buss, and I actually watched a video where someone was comparing translations and like reading out parts of it, and this one just seemed to be like the most modern and digestible. And I'm really sad because there is actually no audiobook for this translation. So that is really depressing. I don't know why. There's so many audiobooks of this. Like if you go on Audible or Libro FM and search up this book, there's so many that pop up, but there is no audiobook for this specific translation. So I'm kind of sad. I will be probably physically reading this one, and we'll probably read about like 30-ish pages a day. It is 1,243 pages in my copy. I just want to do math really quick. 1,243 pages divided by 30 pages a day is 41 days. So maybe I could even read 20 pages a day. because as I said, we'll probably be doing this over the course of like 2.5 months. So I guess that is like 45-ish days. So we'll probably read like between 25 and 30 pages a day. And I'm really excited to try this one out because I haven't read a classic in so long. And I really want to get back into them. I just always have been saying, like in college, I just really didn't have the mental capacity to be reading like a classic because I had so much reading for class. Like I had 200 to 300 pages of reading every single week of college. And I did summer classes over the past 2 summers. So I really haven't had a break. And mentally, I'm just kind of exhausted. And my job that I'm going to be doing after college, which is actually the graphic design job that I've been doing in college, I just will be moving to a full-time position. And that job is very kind of like mindless, if that makes sense. Like it obviously takes effort and energy, but it's not something that like I have to like think very heavily unless I am really designing something new and fresh. But most of the time I'm working off templates. So it's very easy for me to do. And I can listen to audiobooks, watch YouTube, listen to podcasts, basically do whatever I want while I work. So I'm really excited about that as well. But I feel like now that my mental space will be kind of freed up from school a little bit, that I will have some time to really dive into some classics. I'm also tentatively hoping to do 3 reading vlogs this month. I need to get back into vlogging. Honestly, when I say get back into vlogging, it's kind of crazy because I never really think that I was a vlogger. I have been vlogging consistently for the past 2 years, I would say, maybe even 3 years, but honestly, probably like a third of those vlogs have actually made it to the internet because normally they take me so long. I have so much going on. I don't have time to edit. I don't have the mental capacity to edit a video that long. So it's just taken so much energy and effort to vlog. It just takes so much energy and effort to vlog, and I just didn't really have that in college. So I was vlogging, but most of the time I didn't want to edit 2 hours of footage, or I didn't have time to edit 2 hours of footage. It takes a long time to edit 2 hours of footage. If you guys don't know, it takes a very long time. Or I would be really focused on a reading vlog for 5 days, and then I would almost be done with it, and then I would just fall off of reading for that vlog, and then I would have to move on to something else, reading my book club picks, whatever. So then I don't really want to circle back around after I've been reading these other books that I'm obligated to read. And so I'm hoping to get back in by doing 3 vlogs. The way that I've done the 3 vlogs that I am hoping to do this month are all kind of mood reading vlogs, and you will see me read books for the Escape the Readathon throughout all 3 of those vlogs, and I will be trying to complete all the books I picked for prompts within those vlogs as well. So the first one that I really want to do is just like a spring kind of reading vlog where I read spring books, do spring activities, and we just kind of do springy things while we're still in the spring kind of atmosphere, because once June 1st hits, it's summer. So I'm hoping to do this towards the beginning of May while it's still kind of like actively spring versus summer. Some of the books that I've chosen for Escape the Readathon are on my spring TBR and are pretty springy. So I have a couple books for that. And the other 2 vlogs, I don't really have anything planned for them yet. One of them is where I finish series. I've been really wanting to do this vlog for months because I have so many series that I only have like 1 book left. So there's definitely some series that I could finish off in this reading vlog. So I could mood read it if I want, but I could also like put all the ones that only have 1 book left on a spinner wheel. So let me know what you guys think. I know the spinner wheel is probably going to be what y'all prefer because, you know, it's a little bit more fun, but I kind of want to mood read too. I don't know. And the last reading vlog is just a generator chooses how many pages I read for the reading vlog, and so it'll just choose every single day. I will be counting audiobooks though, because most of the books that I listen to on audio I do physically own, and so I normally like switch between them a lot. And I also, even if I have a physical book, I will read it a lot of the times on my Kindle. So I will be counting other formats in it. I know some people don't, but I definitely will because I'm primarily an audiobook reader and then ebook reader and then physical book reader. So that's just how I am. I just prefer it that way, and you know what? I'm okay with that. I think it's just like the phase of life that I'm in. Those have been easier for me, and I've been a reader for so long. Like I've been in the book community avidly reading like 50 to 100 books every single year for like the past decade. So I used to be primarily a physical book reader, and that was it. And then I transitioned a little bit into audiobooks, and now I prefer audiobooks the best. But maybe I'll phase out of that now that I'm out of college. Who knows? I don't. So yeah, but that's the last reading vlog that I have planned. And so hopefully I do that one towards the end of the month so I can kind of just fit in like all my obligation books in there, like all my book club books and stuff like that in that reading vlog. I'm going to go over first the books that I have picked out for the Escape the Readathon, and then we'll do my spinner wheel last. I'm going to be reading the prompts off my computer because I can't remember them. But the first one is Dining Room, a book that matches your current outfit. So match a cover to the outfit you are wearing when you pick the book. So I matched it to this outfit. So you guys can see I'm wearing a black So you guys can see I'm wearing a black and white striped top, and I'm also wearing black leggings and white shoes. It's a fully black and white outfit. I honestly mostly just wear neutrals, so I'm kind of getting into blue a little bit. I feel like blue looks good with my hair. Green is like my favorite color, so I try to wear shades of green, even though I kind of look like Christmas. But I honestly looked through my entire shelves, and I didn't have a single fully black and white book, or even like just grayscale book that I haven't read. So I decided to go with a book that was mostly black and white, and then also had a pop of red because my hair is red. So I feel like that counts. It's still going with the look. And so I'm going with one that's actually on my spring TBR, and that is the Final Girl Support Group. I wouldn't say this book is particularly springy, but I feel like the warm months are perfect for slashers. Like, I honestly feel like May till October is like prime slasher reading. And this one I heard is like his most slashery book. And I only have 2 books of his left to read, this one and also We Sold Our Souls. I think they're actually behind me somewhere. They're right here, all of his books. So since I only have 2 left, I would really, really like to finish it up this year. So you can see the cover is black. The letters are like white, or maybe like a little bit off-white, but they look pretty white to me. And then red with the chair and the blood. So I feel like this kind of matches my current look. And even though the cover is mostly black, I feel like that makes sense because I'm also wearing black leggings. So I only have a little bit of white on comparatively to the amount of black. So this is the book that I'm going with. And it just says it's a fast-paced, thrilling horror novel that follows a group of heroines to die for from the brilliant New York Times bestselling author. And I think it is actually following people who are in a Final Girl support group, like they were Final Girls previously, and now they're in a support group, and then they begin to get killed off one by one. So I'm really, really excited to pick this one up because I love Grady, and he can really do no wrong in my eyes. Hopefully he doesn't do wrong with this one, so I can keep saying that. So next up is Bar, which is a genre blend. So read a book that has more than one genre, and this is like the big main categories of genres and not like subgenres. Lexi made sure to really clarify that like fantasy romance is a subcategory of romance now, and like historical romance is a subcategory or subgenre of romance. So it has to be something that is like a genre blend, not a subgenre, if that makes sense. This was one that I saw was technically like a genre blend, like on Goodreads, like I think because it has a romance in it and it's kind of a comedy and it's a sci-fi. So I'm hoping this one counts. I think it does because it has like the romance element in it and then it's a sci-fi. I know like sci-fi romance, I guess, can be like a subgenre, but I think it's more of a genre blend than it having a subgenre in it. And that is The Ministry of Time. This one's also on my spring TBR. I know these 2 books don't seem very springy. I have very springy books on my spring TBR as well, but I kind of went for vibes. I do have my whole spring TBR up on my Patreon as well for my slasher queens, but this one says it's an ingeniously imagined, hilarious romp through time, space, and the human heart that announces an exhilarating new voice in contemporary fiction. It says it's contemporary fiction. I don't know. It's near future. There's time travel and there's romance and it's funny. So I don't know. Genre blend was really, really hard for me because I feel like most genre blends are subgenres. So I just went with this one and I'm hoping that it counts. Next up is theater, and that is to read a popcorn read or a book that you are just like flying through. She said it's kind of up to interpretation. And this one I feel like I could definitely do like a thriller, but I wanted to go romance because the romance that I picked is a little bit more emotional, but I fly through romances so quick anyway, so I think this one would definitely count. Normally a popcorn read to me is more like a slasher or a thriller or like a really like cute contemporary romance. I think this one's going to be a little bit deeper, but not too deep. So I'm going with Ready or Not by Kyrah. This one is on my spring TV. And the more that people talk about this one, the more that I want to read it. It actually has a surprise pregnancy trope, which I don't mind. I feel like it's a trope that a lot of people don't like, but it's not something that I've read enough to get sick of. Like, I don't really mind pregnancy. Actually, I will say I've always been fascinated by pregnancy, birth. Like, I was watching pregnancy-related videos like trimester updates, what's in my hospital bag, like those types of videos when I was like 10 years old. So I've always loved pregnancy and birth. Like, I just find it really fascinating. So I think it's actually something that I'll like. I just really haven't read it, so I wanted to try it out. And it just seems very springy with like the cover, and I feel like pregnancy, all that stuff kind of screams spring as well because, you know, new life, new growth, birth, all that gives spring. Then there is Pool, and this is a book that has double letters in the title, so it can be any letters in the title, but there has to be 2 of the same letter, and there can't be any more. It has to be exactly 2. And I actually had a different book for this one, and then I read that it had to be exactly 2, and I was like, oh wait, it actually has 4, so let me rewind and pick a different book. And so for this one, I'm going with Sunrise on the Reaping. I believe there is only 2 E's. There's one at the end of Sunrise, and there's one in Reaping. Actually, there is literally 3 E's. I don't know how I missed the one in the, but there is 2 I's. Okay, there's 1 I in Sunrise, and there's 1 I in Reaping. So Sunrise on the Reaping. And this is one that I have to read for my book club anyways this month, so I thought I could just like squeeze it in right here. Next up is the arcade prompt, and this is to read an underrated book. So it's something loved but not by a lot of readers, and it's up to interpretation. And this was honestly, again, kind of hard for me to pick because I feel like the majority of books that I love are either highly loved, like something that obviously is going to have like a 4.1 or whatever, but it's going to have like 300,000 ratings or something. Or it's going to be like a horror book that not many people have read, but most horror books have a pretty low rating, like between a 3 and a 3.5, I would say. Most horror books are rated pretty lowly. So it was kind of hard for me to find something, but I did have one also on my spring TBR, and that is Daisies for Innocence. This is the second book in a series, and I forget what the first one is called, but this one is a cozy mystery series, and the main character of this owns like a perfumery type place, so it was very springy. I read the first one last spring. It was on my spring TBR, and so this one has a lot to do with like flowers, perfume, and stuff like that, so it definitely gives kind of spring, and it had a 4.1 rating on Goodreads, which to me is pretty high, and only 1,300 ratings, which is not a ton. I was looking for something definitely like under 2,000, and so this one kind of fit the rating requirements. I was thinking something over 4 and something less than 2,000 ratings, and this one fit those requirements, so I added in here. I don't really know much about this one in particular because I kind of go into cozy mysteries a little bit blind, especially once I get into the series. I'm like, I just know the characters, I kind of know the atmosphere, but I don't really care about reading the synopsis and finding out about the specific mystery. And then the last prompt for Escape the Readathon is Gym and Spa, which is to read a book you've been putting off, and it can be for any reason. This is a book that I've been wanting to read since it came out last year in 2024, and I wanted to read it last spring and I just didn't get to it, and so I've been putting it off this whole time until this spring. And then even in April, I just feel like it hasn't been the perfect time to read it, so finally I'm going to read it in May, but I've been putting it off personally because it wasn't spring and I wanted to read this book in spring, and that is A Botanical Daughter by Noah Medlock. This one is a queer Frankenstein retelling, and it's also historical. It's about two Victorian London men that I think begin to like Frankenstein a plant. I don't know. It just says it's a true intelligent life from plant matter, and it has to do with like horticulture and stuff like that, and it just seems really good. It's a horror book. I've been dying to read it since it came out. I've heard such good things about this one, so I knew I had to add it to my TBR this month. Now we're going to get into doing my spinner wheel. I'm going to do 5 this month because I'm already trying to do Escape the Readathon. Hopefully we can get some overlap. I know the TBR wheel says winter at the top, but it's actually for spring. It says winter 2024. It's spring 2025. I promise you I've updated this wheel. I just couldn't change the title for some reason. It wasn't changing. I don't know. This website's kind of jank, but it's the best one that I found. So we are going to spin the wheel and see what I get. Here's the first spin. Okay, we have a 5-star prediction. This is very, very hard. Okay, this is very difficult. You know what? I'm going to say Firefly Lane is a 5-star prediction for me. Even though I don't know much about this one going into it, just based off my reading experience with the women, I really think that this one could be a 5-star for me. I don't know. It's just something about her writing, the way she writes her characters, and just everything that I really feel like this one could be a 5-star for me. I don't really do 5-star predictions because I don't know. Some books that I read that are 5 stars really surprise me. Some of them are not surprising at all. And then there are books that I think are going to be 5 stars and then end up 4 stars. So I'm not really good with 5-star predictions, but Firefly Lane, I think could definitely be a 5-star. Now we're going to get into the second spin. We have a book off my 25 books to read in 2025. So I have 11 books on my TBR so far, which is a lot already. Okay, I know. But I only have one romance. And I feel like spring to me is like one of the times to read romance. I have 3 romances that I haven't read that are on my 25 books to read in 2025. But 2 of them I feel like are a little bit better for like spring, summer. And so my options are Wild Love by Elsie Silver and also Only for the Week by Natasha Bishop. This one takes place at a wedding, and it's like a destination wedding. And so we're following our main character, and she's actually the sister of the bride, but she's also the ex-girlfriend of the groom, and she's also secretly hooking up with the best man. It sounds really, really good. I've heard such good things, and I've been dying to read this one. And then I also have, as I said, Wild Love by Elsie Silver, and this is the first book in the Rose Hill series. I really want to read this one. I think I'll really enjoy it a lot. It takes place in the same world as Chestnut Springs. I've only read one of the books in that series, which I did like, so I don't know why. I literally have like the first book in 3 for the series, and I really should not have put this one on my 25 books to read in 2025 because I should finish up her other series first, but it's on there. So I could start this one. I could even read one of the books in the Chestnut Hill Spring series. I think I will go with Only for the Week though, because just like look at the back, like it looks so tropical, and I actually have 2 pools at my apartment complex where I'm at, where I will be living. So I definitely am going to be like in the pool starting like once I move in May. So I feel like this will be perfect to read by the pool. Okay, here is the third spin. We have given author a second chance. Okay, let me think about this one. I do get a veto every single month where I can veto run prompt, and I think I'm gonna veto this one. I'm just like not in the mood to do that this month. And with like my reading vlog plans and stuff like that, and I already have so many books on my TBR, especially for like book clubs and stuff like that. I want to try and get more of those on my spinner wheel. So let's redo the third spin. Okay, a book for video. Easy peasy. For this one, I'm going to go with A Botanical Daughter because I will be reading this one in my spring reading vlog since I got it on my TBR for Escape the Readathon. So I'm going to go with this one because I really want to read it, and I don't know why I haven't read it. I just don't know why I haven't read it yet. So this is going to be the one to fulfill this prompt. Now we're going to go in for our third spin. I meant fourth spin. Fourth spin. My bad. We have a horror book. Okay, I think I'm going to go with the most obvious choice for this one, and that is the Final Girl Support Group because I want to read this one anyways. I could also go with Bat Eaters, but I'm going to just go with this one because I really do want to finish off Grady Hendrix's backlist. Okay, we're going to go in for a fifth and final spin, and I kind of want to choose a book not on the rest of my TBR. I do want one other book. I don't know what it's going to be, but I want one. We have a romance book. Okay, another romance. For this one, I think I'm going to go with Can't Get Enough, which is the third book in the Skyland series by Kennedy Ryan. I have her 2 other books down here in that series, and so this is the newest one. It comes out actually on May 13th, so a little bit further into May, but I think I have the arc of this one already, if I'm not mistaken, and I feel like I'll fly through this one. I love this series so much, and I can read it for my finishing series reading vlog, so I think this one will be a really great one to add to the TBR. I don't know much about it, except each book in this series, the other 2 books, follow 2 friends in the same friend group, and her romances are very, very emotional. I would say the first one can have some very triggering content in it, but the second one also is very heavy as well at parts, but they're very hopeful, they're emotional, they're lighthearted, they're everything combined into one. So I'm really excited to read the last book in this trilogy, and I just think it's going to be so good. Kennedy Ryan never fails. You can see my little homage to her right here. These are the only books that I own that are on my TBR this month, but all 4 of the books for my book clubs and stuff like that I don't physically own yet, but I definitely plan on buying at least 2 of them, and then I just have some other books that are on my spring TBR that I want to get to, and then also, of course, Let Me Grab Her, and then we could also add the Count of Monte Cristo on here, but I definitely will not be finishing her in May. So this is my TBR. I hope that you guys enjoyed this new setup. Thank you so much, Lexi, for asking me to be a game master for Escape the Readathon. I love this readathon so much, and I'm glad that I can participate in this way, and make sure to go check it out because it is such a fun readathon. You do need Discord to participate in the readathon, I will say that, but I love Discord. I think it's such an amazing readathon to really bring the community together. So if you're looking for something very community-based that you can interact with, it's team-based, you get points, it's very, very fun. I think that you would really enjoy this readathon, so I will have the links to all that down below, and anything else that I mentioned, any other people, book clubs, whatever, I have those all linked down below. And if you made it to the end, I would love to know what is one spring book that you are dying to read this spring before it's over, or that you would highly recommend that I read. I would love to hear all your recommendations, and while you're down there, you can also leave for me the sun emoji, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye, everybody! I'm riding around in the kitchen, soaking the moments we live in, yeah. You got the nerve to be on me, taking your life out of you. If you got my